Good day everyone. Today we'll be looking at indices. Now indices is a topic that simply has to do with power. Now what do we mean by power? The power of an alphabet or a letter simply means the superscript at the top of that letter or number. For example, if we have a raised to the power 2, now you see the superscript 2 here. This is the power. Now, the most important part of your indices is the laws of indices, and we have 7 laws. They are very important. You don't have to cram them, but you have to know them, how they work, because you always use your laws of indices to solve indices based questions. Now, the first law of indices we have is when you have a raised to the power 2 times a raised to the power 3, it's equal to a raised to the power 2 plus 3. Now, this is the first rule, and it states that if you have the same alphabet or numbers and they have 2 different powers, when multiplying those numbers, you add the power together. So you can see indices help to show you laws that will help you work with power related questions. So in your polynomials, simultaneous equation, quadratic equation, where you have to deal with powers, you need to understand indices to be able to work with them. Now, the first law, anytime you have 2 the same numbers with different power, when multiplying, you add both power together. So this will give you a raised to the power 5. Now, for the second law of indices, we have, if we are given c raised to the power 4 divided by c raised to the power 2. Now, anytime you are dividing 2 alphabets or 2 numbers which have 2 exact same numbers, that is the key there, they must be the same. Now, if you are dividing these numbers, you do c, to work with the power, you do c raised to the power 4 minus 2, which is equal to c raised to the power 2. So now, for multiplication, remember we add the powers, while for division we subtract the powers, right? The powers of both alphabets. Now, for the third law of indices, we have, if you are given any alphabet raised to the power 0, any alphabet raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. Any alphabet, if you are given z raised to the power 0 is 1, 24 raised to the power 0 is 1, 18 raised to the power 0 is also 1. Now, for the fourth law, we have the fourth law. Let's say if we have d square all into brackets cube is equal to, now when you have a letter or a number with power and there is the outer power covering it, what you do is that you multiply both the power outside the figure and the power closer to the figure. So you have d raised to the power 2 times 3, which should give you d raised to the power 6. Right? Now, for the fifth law of indices, we have when you are given 1 upon x squared, it's equal to x raised to the power minus 2. Now, this law simply states that if a power is below the denominator, remember, denominator is the figure below the division sign, while numerator is the one above. So when a power is below the denominator sign, you can convert it by adding minus to the power. You can convert it to a whole number. Remember, this is like, if this is fraction, this is whole. Right? Don't forget. Then now, the sixth law we have when you are given x raised to power half is equal to square root of x, right? I'm going to give examples for each of them. Then the last one we have is if you have two alphabets or number, for example, let's say e raised to power 2. If e raised to power 2 is equal to e raised to power x is equal to e raised to power y. Now if you notice, the two numbers, the two alphabets are the same. So when you have a scenario like this, e raised to power x is equal to e raised to power y, then you can say x is equal to y. So now these are the 7 laws of indices. Now I'm going to give examples on each of them, enough examples for you to